What's up guys, Jake Verdon Tech here. Today we're going to go over some tips and techniques on how you can make your first PC build or next PC build a super clean and organized build. Now you all are probably thinking there's no way I'm taking this guy's advice on building a clean PC. But for some background, this was my first PC I built, and it's been one of those builds that has kind of evolved over time, and I've had a number of hardware swaps done to it, and I've kind of just built on top of it over time. So when trying to build a neat and organized PC, I basically break it down into two categories that determine the outcome of how clean your build will be. Those categories being selecting parts and cable management. Selecting parts is the vast majority of this topic because it definitely dictates how your hardware can be situated in your build. So starting off with choosing parts, number one, I would select a fully modular power supply if there's room in your budget. This will allow you to use the cables you need without having all the excess ones that come pre-attached to a standard or semi-modular power supply. And number two in the choosing parts category, which really ties in with number one, talking about power supplies, I would recommend creating your own custom length PSU cables. Not only will this give your build a clean look, relieving your case of excess cable length from the stock cables, but also you get some creative freedom with options to sleeve your cables. Definitely take your time researching this process and create a pinout diagram to replicate the stock cables. Number three, we're discussing hard drives. If your motherboard supports M.2 form factor hard drives, I would definitely recommend utilizing that. This way you'll get an increase in performance and you won't have to worry about mounting, wiring, standard hard drives that require SATA power and SATA data cables. Moving on to number four, which probably should have been number one because this is the home for all your hardware. Choosing a case can be a very difficult decision because we have to consider compatibility with other hardware and ease of use. Of course, there are many case options on the market that nail it in visual appeal but aren't the most user-friendly. I've definitely experienced this from working with my Corsair Crystal 570X versus my more functional and minimalist fractal design Define R6. The moral of cases, just kind of, look at reviews. I suggest watching many reviews of people who have actually built in the case you're interested in buying. So that'll definitely give you a better idea of what you're getting into before you purchase one. Our last subject in choosing parts is the highly debated topic of RGB lighting. It is definitely a subjective look for a build as some people love it and some people hate it. For those of you that like the looks of RGB, be prepared to orient more cables and controllers into your build. To kind of give you an idea about what I mean, let's go over my first build. The 6 Corsair LL120 fans look pretty awesome, but they come with a lot of baggage. First off, each fan contains 2 wires, one for PWM and another that plugs into the Corsair fan controller. Along with the fan controller, Corsair's Lighting Node Pro also has to be installed in order to control the lighting. By now, I'm sure you guys can see where I'm going with this in terms of hardware adding up really quickly, and it's all stuff that has to be routed somewhere in your chassis. So some recommendations to improve your RGB experience. Definitely stick to one ecosystem of RGB lighting if you can. It gets kind of convoluted if you have, some components that are Corsair that run on Corsair's IQ software, and you might have some others that run on ASUS AuraSync or MSI Mystic lightings. So if possible, try to keep your RGB lighting down to 1 or 2 ecosystems. That way you're not bouncing around trying to control different lightings with a number of different software. That is it for this video, guys. Hopefully you found some useful information when it comes to choosing parts for a more simple and clean approach to building your first or next system. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content related to PC building and other things tech related, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.